Hello and welcome back to the U Up Podcast. I'm Jordana Abraham.
And I am Jared Freed. It is so good to be back here with you, Jordana. Welcome back from Fra. How do you feel? Are you vacationed? Do you feel renewed?
I do. I feel super refreshed. I had a wonderful time.
Yes. It looked like it. I mean, I as we watch from home, I am now your fan. I'm watching your stories and.
Are you a fan or am I super annoying?
No, total fan. I loved it. I love of European viewing because you can wake up and you're already at midday. Like you're already at the beach club. And then it was funny. You could tell there was a party section of your trip and there was a relaxed section of your trip, which I thought was very awesome to see. And then there was one moment where I think I texted this to you, but it was so funny. Like you guys are at the dance club and there's like bottles popping. I'm like, man, they are having a time. And then all of a sudden you're draped in a cobra. I'm like, what is going on? Like, it just felt like a cartoon of we're having a great time. Like, I was expecting you to be like dancing with a grizzly bear at some point.
It's very funny. So we were to paint a little bit of a picture, we're at Bagatelle. Bagatelle in Saint-Tropez.
Yes, as one does.
As every asshole you know does.
Yeah.
Myself included. And it's funny. There's a guy with a snake whose job is clearly like he knows the exact time of day that everyone is drunk enough to give him 50 euros to put the snake on them. The timing. The timing is incredible.
Right. He knows his business.
He knows the exact. Because the party, like, it starts off,
right.
Starts off chill. We're having lunch.
Well, this is these European beach clubs. It is very much sit down.
Yes.
That turns into a stand up. Like you go from like, oh, we'll have some wine, and then all of a sudden the music gets louder and louder.
Starts going,
and people start standing at their tables, and you're like, I would never stand at my table. And then all of a sudden you're standing at the table. That is a very much a Euro beach club vibe. And this guy
knows the exact
bring out
time
the snake
because he did it, and everyone people throwing money at him to get this probably heavily sedated snake.
Right. Hopefully.
Cobra.
You just see the guy turn to his business partner, and he's like, snake comes out, ready to go.
Well, you must have a deal with Bagatelle, I guess.
You don't think the snake's owned by Bagatelle? You don't think that's part of like the menu?
Didn't just show up.
Yeah, he didn't just slither over.
Yeah, but it's funny. Even as we were all scrounging money to find the funds to give this guy to put the snake on.
Yeah.
I was thinking, there was, even as drunk as I was, there was something in the back of my head that was like, is this going to get me canceled?
Oh, you with the snake.
Yes.
Well, Britney Spears is still going.
Yeah, that's true. That was a different time, though.
It was a different time. No.
I was a little worried, even in the back of my head.
You don't know what they do to these snakes.
I mean, I don't know if the snake the snake seemed fine. I mean,
it made me happy. The idea that you could get canceled by it is like crazy, considering how happy I was to see a snake all over you guys, just because it's so ridiculous. It's like, this whole you're there'll be a moment there's gonna be a moment where you're gonna go $50 for that, and then you're gonna have to remember
as soon as I sobered up.
Well, no, to something else.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna be like, someone's gonna be like, hey, it's gonna be $50 to clean out the garage if you want us to do it, and you're like, I can do it myself, and then you're gonna remember, I paid the same amount basically for a snake to be put on me.
For like 2 minutes, yes.
Did it even make the feed? The picture?
It made my friend Liza's feed. It was actually on her, so I think it made her. I was too scared to feed it because I was like,
really?
I don't want people. I don't know. I'm scared of the internet. It's a scary place.
What's to be scared of? They seem so nice.
Do you remember when I went to Australia and I held the koala?
Yes.
And I posted that picture,
I got
that. I got a non-zero number of people being like, and you can't hold the koalas.
Really?
Because they're like, it's not right that they make the koalas take pictures with people.
I don't know. I'm
I
at
don't
a
know
point,
what's okay anymore.
I'm zen with it all. I just listened to a Charles Barkley interview, the famous basketball player commentator, and he was like, just be honest and you'll be okay. He goes, you're never going to make everyone happy.
That's true.
And it's like, he couldn't be more right. I'm just going to be honest, and I'm just going to be me.
Yeah.
And I'm never going to, that's my promise to you, the You Up listener. I'm going to hold the koala. I'm going to slither with the snake.
Yes.
I'm going to pet the tiger.
Everyone seems like they're doing okay. I'm doing the best I can.
Yeah, you're trying your best.
Yeah.
You put a snake on.
But it was a great trip. I met fans of yours wherever I went.
Mine.
Ours, yours. Ours, yours.
Where? Saint-Tropez? That was the loneliest I've ever been in my entire life.
Really? Because maybe did you go to Bagatelle?
No. I had an issue. I didn't get in. They did my reservation wrong.
Oh, wow. Maybe that was
whole
where
thing.
your
That's
whole
where everything
fan base
changed.
was. Yeah.
They were all at Bagatelle.
Yeah. It was one of them, two of them there, someone at a different beach club.
I'm a beach club guy.
Someone who knew you from college at
Oh yeah, you did say that.
Yes.
Yeah, listen, Mr. Worldwide, that's what they call me.
Yeah, it was great to meet. I think more fans of the show I met in France than I've met in New York.
That's our clientele.
Yes.
So peaks and pits.
I had a few peaks. I thought it was the peak. I think was the planning of it all, which is that we did couples group trip, romantic one-on-one, back to group trip.
What was the second group trip?
It was Mike's friend and his wife.
Oh.
Who are living in London for a few months.
Okay.
And then they met us in Paris for the end of it.
Yes, I saw this. This is the forgotten part of the trip for me.
Yes.
Yeah, it started with you in Saint-Tropez, and then you went off, you and Mike, and then you go to Paris after that.
Yes.
Great.
Which is nice, because I mean, I'll be honest, like this is the truth about marriage,
right.
Especially like for the two of us, no kids at the moment. We have a lot of time that we spend together.
It's a lot.
Everyone's like,
yeah.
make sure you have time for a date night. I'm like, every night is date night. We have no responsibilities besides hanging out with each other.
Right.
So
we're good.
Yeah, no, but then you're on vacation, and like I'll be totally honest. Sometimes you do run out of new topics. Like
right.
we've
What are we
been
going to talk about?
together all day, every day.
What did couples do before Instagram? Like
I don't know.
You can't even just pull up an Instagram and be like, "Look at this loser." You know, that's a whole conversation.
You had to just each be on your own, reading your own book or some shit.
Oy. I can't imagine anything more horrific in my entire life.
A nightmare.
Yeah.
So then, just when we're starting to get to that phase of like,
we've had enough.
Talk more about the renovation, but I don't really want to do that. We have a new group.
So a new crew came in, and they added some life to the occasion.
Yes,
love it.
We ended in Paris, and it was funny because I hadn't been there since I was abroad.
How was Paris in the summer? You were looking forward to it, and Mike was not.
Honestly, yes, I think he really liked it.
Yeah,
yeah. It's funny because the last time I was there was 20 years old, and being back there now, I notice. It's just such a beautiful city. It's like incredibly beautiful. Everything, everywhere you look, every street looks like you're in a romantic, like a romance.
Right. It's a little different when you have some dough in your pocket.
A little bit.
You go to some different streets. You're not, in the alleys with the guy that's in the striped shirt and a beret.
The mimes.
The mimes. Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's meme.
No, but I think it was also.
No.
I don't know, just like you just notice. I think you notice more things when you're older,
right? Of course,
I'm just noticing like how beautiful it is.
Yeah, you're not high on cocaine and drinking alcohol.
Yes. I also
you're
noticed
actually sober for 4 seconds.
I'm pretty sure the woman who owned my house before me had modeled the house on like the Louvre, because we went to the Louvre and everything is like intense colors and like French, and I'm like I'm like Mike, this looks a lot like our house before. Well, renovation.
your house did have a very much a Mademoiselle type of vibe to it. It's actually the craziest thing I've ever seen. Your house.
You agree? Yes.
I totally agree. Your house looked like it was a Disney World version.
Yes.
Like Epcot France.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I kind of hate that. I hate when a place tries to replicate a thing that it is not. I'm with you.
It's never what you think it's going to be. It's never the vision.
Right.
It's always just like it's a tacky version
exactly.
of it. Yeah.
It's like, I want to see a French chateau style in France where it belongs.
Right.
And
then you see it in France, you go, what a fucking idiot. Like even, like who would think they could repeat this? This is France.
Right.
Yeah.
This is like stuff that's 400 years old. And that's why it's so cool. That's why it's so beautiful. That's why it's so like interesting. And I was like, you tried to do this on Long Island. It's just not the same.
There's a couple, like, what was that movie? It was a documentary of the woman, the Queen of Versailles. She like built this like huge mansion.
Marie Antoinette and like Louis XIV.
No, this was like it was about this woman in Florida who was like a billionaire. She built this like huge house and they like ran out of money, but the house is like crazy like that. And it's like in Florida. And you're like, what is this doing here? This monstrosity.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like, if you want a house like that, go to the place where that's the style.
Right.
In my opinion. This is my particular sense.
Well,
I hope she's not listening.
Yes, she's crying by her podcast.
It's
on
also
her
like,
AirPods.
You're a lawyer. What are you trying to do here?
Listen, I don't know what happens to people as they move farther away from other people. I think kind of New York City keeps people in check. Like,
I totally agree with that.
You know what I mean? Like, I think you go to more land and then there's more quiet and then there's less people like eyeing you up and down and you go, let's make this a French theme.
Right.
Like,
there's
I think
no
that's
one
how
there
it
to
happens.
be like,
right.
No, that's stupid.
Well, I asked my friends once, I was like, is it crazy? Like, I go, you must meet the dumbest people. Like, I have a couple friends who are like in the suburbs. I'm like, how do you meet these couples? Like, for people to get married and just be together, like, you meet one loud, stupid person and then you meet their spouse and you're like, wow, two louds.
No one was there to tell them they're too loud.
Right. They're just, if a tree falls in the woods, did it make a noise? If two louds get together,
right,
then there's no one to call them a fucking idiot. You know, like it's birds of a feather flock together, that type of thing. So I don't know.
But speaking of being young and with it-ish, I've been I'm a little late to the game, but I'm obsessed with Chappell Roan. Chappell Roan. Belle just helped me with my pronunciation.
Chappell Roan, who is the young, hot singer.
I think she's amazing.
What got you into her? You just on Spotify and it came up?
We were in Saint-Tropez and one of my friends was like into her and she started playing it. And then I'm always resistant to new things.
Sure.
But she played it and I was like, I love this sound, the lyrics, they're so provocative. She has this one song that I thought was like sort of, it embodies the show pretty well.
Ooh,
it's called Casual.
Okay.
And the lyrics are just like extremely situationshipy.
So the way I understand Chappell Roan, am I from France? Chappell Roan. Now she's like gone from like nobody to like literally one of the biggest stars on the planet. Is that
something like that?
Is that?
I don't know too much. I know she's like
Chappell Roan's story.
She dresses in drag.
Yeah.
She's a lesbian, but she used to date men. So she's got some good songs.
She's got
about
all
that experience,
the drama,
including that casual. Guys, I'm not gonna like bore you by reading the lyrics to this song, but the song is great. It's provocative. I mean, look, I didn't bring my phone, but look up the lyrics to.
Okay, Chappell Roan.
I mean, and I just think she pushes the envelope with her lyrics, where it's like the song is about. Being casual with a guy. She doesn't want to be casual. It has all the things we talk about.
Here are the lyrics. Okay. My friends call me a loser because I'm still hanging around.
Okay. Are you okay?
I had some skinny pop. I think a kernel got my throat.
And that was how it all ended.
He died reading Chappell Roan. I've heard so many rumors that I'm just a girl that you bang on your couch. I thought you thought of me better, someone you couldn't lose. You said we're not together, so now when we kiss, I have anger issues. You said, baby, no attachment, but we're knee deep in the passenger seat, and you're eating me out. Wow.
So this is the
Don't play this in front of mom.
This is the chorus.
Yeah,
this is the chorus.
Knee deep in the passenger seat, and you're eating me out. Is it casual now? I've eaten out some casual. I've had some casual eat outs.
That's kind of the point.
Right. 2 weeks and your mom invites me to her house on Long Beach. Is it casual now? I know what you tell your friends. It's casual. If it's casual now, then baby, get me off again. If it's casual now. Dumb love. I love being stupid. Dream of us in a year. Maybe we'd have an apartment and you'd show me off to your friends at the pier. I know, baby, no attachment, but we're knee deep in the passenger seat and you're eating me out. The repeat of eating me out.
That's what I'm saying. It's like it's super catchy too. It's like,
right.
It's not just like It's like a great song.
It's also, I guess there's empowerment. People really love her, and I've no doubt that she should be beloved. But the empowerment of "you're eating me out" as opposed to "I'm sucking your dick," very different perspective.
I didn't even think of that. That's a great point.
Like I think in a different time she might have been, "I'm sucking your dick," and you're not even fucking meeting your friends. Now it's "you're eating me out." Is this casual?
Right. It's kind of like almost like the mixed messages in some ways of the
this podcast,
the modern situationship.
Absolutely. Listen, if I'm eating someone out, that means nothing to me. Okay, let me just say, I'll lick a clit that I don't even know the middle name of. Okay, Chappell, I'll tell you, I'll defend this guy.
No, but that's what she's saying. Like, I think she's kind of like, that's the whole point. Is she's kind of like, this feels like there's like an intimacy, but also you don't really care about me.
Well, I guess from the eating out standpoint, I'm defending the guy because like, I could never deny someone being like...
Well, she puts it on herself. Like at the end lyrics, she's kind of like, I kind of hate myself because you keep telling me this thing and I'm still here.
He's saying it's casual. My friends call me stupid.
And my friends say I'm a loser. Like I just think it's like, it kind of pushes the envelope just the fact that the chorus is you're knee deep in the passenger seat and you're eating me out.
Well, I guess this would be, if I'm thinking of who she's singing this song to, it's to her friends. My friends call me stupid. He's eating me out.
He likes me.
Right, he must like me. Why would you eat someone out you don't like? And I'd be sitting in the corner going, I'll eat you out.
Right.
In an alley, don't give a fuck.
Yeah, but you're still not, you're still telling me we're not in a relationship.
Totally, and he's being honest.
So is she.
She is too.
I think there's like a vulnerability in it, but it's still kind of fun and funny. And I agree that's an interesting point about the eating
power
me
dynamic.
out, but not. Yeah, it's very.
I'm gonna listen to it on shuffle on the way back.
You should definitely listen to it if you're listening. I just think all of her music it's kind of like 80s fun, like.
No, I've seen
great
her
lyrics, great voice.
Is camp the right word? She dresses very camp. It's very.
I think so.
It's a sight to behold. Like I do enjoy when I see her on things. I'm like, what is she wearing? What is this? This is
I think
very cool.
It also kind of feels like she doesn't give a fuck.
So I'm happy to have you back. When we do these episodes after a break, it's like
I know, new energy,
new
life. How have you been?
I'm good. We're sitting here in September. I've never been happier. Like it's September.
A little chill in the air.
Little chill. I'm wearing shorts still, but that time is coming to a close. I don't know. Golden Bachelorette is starting soon. That's pretty big.
Life is good.
At this point, I had gone to the Bears game. We had opening week.
That's great.
I don't know what else I got.
Are you off the app still?
I'm off the apps. I had, I was here in the city for a weekend, and that weekend kind of shook me a little. I drank a little too much. It's so funny. You said in the beginning, what are you going to do for Labor Day weekend? I was like, I will either be like slumped over a martini glass in a bar or I'll be in Boca. I stayed here. I did some shows with this. Someone in the comments on YouTube was like, I saw him slumped over a martini glass. And I was like, oh, fuck.
You did it.
I was like, yeah, I did everything I planned on doing. So, Penn State football has started. Like, things are good.
Guys fucking love football season. I feel like that is your new year or something. Like
no, I feel comforted. I feel very much like there's something on TV, even no matter where I travel, the noise, the chatter of football is in the background. Like it is just always around me. Betting. I'm betting on games. I like to bet. I like to watch every game. I like getting together with people. I like having something on the TV. I don't know. It's just like this.
Comfy, cozy season.
That's it. We're heading into layer season. That's a good time for my, my look.
Yeah. Are you spending Sundays at bars like football Sunday?
I'll go to like a football Sunday bar. I like getting there early. I went for Penn State football to just like sit with some friends. It reconnects you, especially college football. Reconnects you. You get on group chats that have been dormant since last fall.
Totally. And I think sports feel like they're a socially acceptable way for men to bond.
Yes.
So I can see why that would even add an extra layer, which most men aren't like admitting is the reason they also love it. It's like a way to connect with people because you need men kind of need the excuse. They can't just like be like, do you have 20 minutes? Do you want to catch up on the phone? Like no one's doing that.
And we're not doing dinners.
Right.
Walk on Hudson Street in New York City on a Thursday night, every table, women, 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 women. There's not one table, maybe a couple, maybe you'll find it, but of just two dudes chit-chatting.
Right.
And it's all women getting together. These were plans that were made, that were kept. Yeah, it's very...
That's why we don't need sports.
Right. I need, a game to be on, and, and also, like, all the conversation is, like, relationships stuff. Like, I don't really get a lot of questions like, what's going on in your dating life?
Really? Besides from me?
Just you. Yeah. I think, like, the guys, maybe sometimes.
What do they ask about?
Not much. Like,
no one's asking. Men don't ask any questions ever?
None. That's why we don't ask them on dates. We have no experience. No, I'll ask about their wives. I'll be like,
okay.
what's her face?
I thought they're like living vicariously through you, though.
That happens sometimes too, but I think they've realized there's not much to vicariously live through.
Well, it's a new season, almost.
It's a new season.
Almost new season.
Well, this is a nice time to, like, I don't know, for me specifically, like where I'm at, like the type of like interaction I want to have like with a woman is around football, is around daytime things, not the cover of night. I'm
day drinking's the move now.
Yeah, just day everything. Just like,
I think that's an older person thing too.
Right,
like
I'm exhausted.
The older we get, it's like 3 a.m. Let's just have a few drinks during the day and then go home and take a nap.
Listen, it's at 39. Like, I was with my friends watching football, and they had a couple drinks. I had a couple drinks, and then they were like, "Okay, we're going home. We're gonna have dinner, and then bedtime, Betty Boo, Saturday night." And I was like, fuck, I'm going to take a nap and then go back out at 10 p.m.
Well, you got a show.
Do shows.
Right, yeah.
But, like, even still, like, I should have been done.
Maybe you should do more brunch shows. I came to...
Be the brunch comedian.
No,
Seller does a brunch show every Sunday. It's very good.
I remember Mike and I, when we first started dating, came to one of the Comedy Cellar brunch shows.
It was right when they first started doing them.
Yeah.
And they still got them going on. They do great food. I'm there. I'm at the brunch. I'm at the Cellar. I'm doing the shows. All right, let's dive right in. Let's do our first email. You ready?
I'm ready. I'll read our first email. Hi, J&J, longtime listener and fan. After years of listening to your advice in the context of being single, I'm finally shifting gears after around 4 months of dating a new guy.
Congratulations.
Maybe I shouldn't call him new since I've known him for several years as a friend, but things have only just turned romantic.
Sexy.
Ooh. I'm writing because we seem to be hitting a bit of a plateau due to a new roommate situation. Because we started as friends and only live 1 mile apart, things moved quickly in the beginning. For the first 2 months, we saw each other almost every day and had sex almost every day.
Oh my God, kind of horror.
Love it. Wow. We just brought Yiddish in?
Yeah, that's right.
Love it. Love it. But 2 months ago, his brother moved in with him and is a permanent roommate now. We went from each having our own place to now only I do. I wasn't expecting the brother moving in to put such a damper on things. Now we usually only see each other romantically around once a week, and if I see him during the week, it's with his brother also there. I like his brother, but the massive slowdown in the relationship has been hard for me to adjust to, and I'm not sure how to keep things moving forward. When I brought it up, he said that he feels he needs to be conscious of spending time with his brother since he's new in town and doesn't really know anyone else. Am I being unreasonable by expecting to see my boyfriend more? I can acknowledge that we probably started things too fast, but I'm also getting stressed that he seems so okay with not seeing me as much anymore. I've been grappling with if this is due to an anxious attachment style or if he actually does owe me a little more thought and attention. Appreciate any thoughts and perspective and how the best way to bring it up would be. Signed, Third Wheel.
Interesting email.
I like it. Well,
I like it.
I think it's great email. You're someone who used to live with your brother.
I lived with my brother, but we never lived together when he had a girlfriend.
Right.
Like, no,
were you dating when he was on your couch?
I was out there dating when he was on my couch, and then we lived together.
But you didn't have a relationship at that point.
We were just out there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe someone thought they were in a relationship with us. I have no memory of a relationship during this time.
Okay. You're dating, though.
Dating.
Sure. Right.
I'm what I am now, just idiot. So I'm sure I was dating someone in and out of whatever it was, but...
Probably took them to Miami, don't remember.
I have no memory of this trip. But I think this is like an interesting email because like I hear it and I go, you're 4 months in and this might be him slowing it down?
I was thinking that it might be coincidental that the brother moving in and the slowdown happening around the same time. It might have happened anyway.
Right. Like, I don't know. I just don't know. Like, the brother thing, like, he mentions the brother's in a new town, so he feels a responsibility to take care of him. But, like, I don't know. These things evolve in a way that people who are in good relationships that generally feel okay with.
Right.
You know, like, it'd be one thing, you know, the idea that, like, the brother moved in and now I'm the side piece.
Right.
That's not how it generally goes. Like, I don't know. What do you think?
Do you think he's going to dump her?
Well,
beware of holidays, weekends, and your brother moving in.
Beware of it. Yeah, I would beware of any change in behavior. Like, she says something very specific. I've been grappling with this due to an anxious attachment style, or if he actually does owe me a little more thought and attention. No one can tell you how to feel.
Right. The word "oh," I think we should take out of the equation.
Right. You feel
a
unloved.
Pullback. You feel a pullback.
Right. I feel feel
and
weird.
A pullback, I understand why she's not using that word because it's scary to use because it sounds like it's a pre-dump thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because a pullback usually does come before that. So I can understand her. I understand why she's anxious. I would be anxious too.
So would I.
Validate that.
Right. No, all her feelings are valid. Like the brother thing is, I think, a distraction.
Yeah. I would take that out of the equation when you talk to him about this.
Right. I don't need, hey, your brother moved in and it ruined everything is not really the perspective.
Mm-hmm.
It's, I feel less than right now.
Right. Or I'm feeling a little bit of a pullback in the frequency that we used to hang out.
The problem is that gives room to, like, well, the brother moved in and this happened and an excuse city. That's like, I'm trying to think, like, I'm the murderer in this situation.
Right.
Like, what would I do?
So you need to be addressed more directly.
Right.
Saying.
Like, I wouldn't,
it's annoying because, like, you should just take the hint.
He's going to want time to think about this. You're going to come to him and go, I feel a pullback. And he's going to go, me pull back? But my brother just moved in and he's living in the other room and we can't even shit at the same time.
Do you think he's going to do that as an excuse or almost unknowingly? Like, not so that he doesn't have to think about it?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think he knows what he's doing. I don't know. I don't want to speak too much for him, but I would say if I was in this scenario, you don't just go from sex every night to my brother moved in, I got to take care of him.
Right.
It must mean that he's nervous about the relationship. Here's the other thing going on. I don't know if his brother's single, but it sounds like it. Single brother moves in. Let's go out.
On the prowl.
Out on the prowl. Come on, the boys are back in town. It's a little bit of a window to the world he's missing. New guy in town. He's got... You know, if someone moved to New York City, it would actually add some life to my life.
Just reevaluating things.
Right. He's like, do I really want to be out there? I got this. We were friends that turned into a relationship. I have this backlog with her. I can't really just like exit it like I would any other 4-month relationship. I got to kind of like back off of it.
Well, do you think it goes the same for men as it, because I mean, we've talked about this with sex, right? Where we said like, just because you have doesn't mean you need to continue, right? If you've slept with someone and you kind of felt like it was too soon, you cannot do that.
Right.
Do you feel like it works the same with men, where it's like you can hang out every day, sex all the time, seeing each other multiple times a week, and then just because we have doesn't mean we need to continue? Like, is that also work for that, or is that kind of a different ballgame?
I think it's different. It's funny you say that because it's like, I just don't know I don't know if the sex thing is different to me because it's like, just because we had sex too early doesn't mean we'll have sex again is different than like, just because we had a great time the other day doesn't mean we have to keep having great times together. Like,
why not?
I don't know. I just like, it's weird that the hangout is so different. I don't know. I'm a bit at a loss for words on that.
Right.
Because to me, the only reason to not hang out with someone as much is because you're like trying to create space to maybe have a reason that this would end. Hey, I'm not feeling it anymore.
You think that's like the only...
It kind of feels that way. But I do think if she puts it on the brother, then that's not a real good way to go. I don't
right, because he's gonna take that bait, like you said.
Right. If I were her,
what would you say?
I would be like, hey, do you want to stay over tonight? And when he says no, be like, why? And
my brother's, and my brother can't leave. My brother.
Football's on. My brother and I are watching together.
He's so lonely. He just moved here.
Right. Hey, your brother's an adult, and I'm your girlfriend who's feeling really like left out. Why? What are we gonna do about this?
Is that gonna make him want to hang out with her more, though?
He does want to hang out with her already.
Well, what would be your two responses if you, one, wanted to like end it, and two, didn't want to end it, just weren't sure? Maybe weren't sure or into it, and just you're
into it,
like,
but this is like this weird timing thing.
Into it, but you're like, yeah, I moved a little fast. Like, I don't know if I need to see you 5 nights a week. Is it possible that he's still into it, but he's like,
I need to slow it down.
The novelty has worn off a little bit,
Absolutely.
and I don't need to have sex with you every single day.
Absolutely, but I would need to let someone know that like this level of interaction is not enough for me. Like, and it's then I would right on her end. Yeah. Hey, so what? How do you envision? Like, I guess I would. If I'm him, I'm like, how do I envision this moving forward? I don't think it is of my opinion that things don't go from fast to slow.
Okay.
They go from fast to new fast to fast again. There's a momentum. And the minute you lose that momentum, I think you lose excitement. In this scenario, to me, brother moves in. To an extent,
though. But
brother moves in, you're three's company. To me, brother moves in, it should have been, hey, the brother's here. It's a little awkward, but like, get in here, kid.
Right.
I want you part of the team here.
That's true. And it hasn't, because it
would be different. It would be different if this email was like, hey, our whole thing is like, she says she's the third wheel. No, you're not. You're just a unicycle in the garage that they're not using.
Right. And they're the bike.
Yeah.
No, I see what you're saying. I do think that you can, like, eventually couples aren't having sex every single day, 4 times a day.
She's using all the things. She's concentrating on all the wrong things. She's concentrating on the brothers. She's concentrating, we used to have sex every night. She's using these, like, very tangible things, which I understand why she's doing it.
Well, that's the only evidence she has to bring to court.
Right. Hey, well, I mean, these details come in the arguments phase, not in the how I feel phase.
Okay.
So how I feel, hey, I don't see you enough. I'm being, I would say to her, I'm turned off.
Well,
that I don't see you as much.
Here's my question to her, which she doesn't really write. Is it that is she theoretically okay with hanging out less than every single day? Or is she just anxious that that his pullback means a looming break up?
Let me ask, do you mean that because she doesn't have like the lines through the calendar on the wall of days they hung out, now she lost this tangible thing?
Right, to be like, okay, I'm safe. Which, because I get, because
that's a bad way to date.
No, I get it. She says it herself. I get anxious, right?
Right.
So to her, she's like, she wants evidence to feel secure in the relationship, and him seeing her less often. Maybe she doesn't even care that they're seeing each other less often. It's more just like the anxiety that comes with this person seemed really interested, and now they seem a little less interested. But if they had always hung out this amount, maybe she would have been fine with it.
Right. I don't think she would have been fine with it. I think you hang with someone every day because you're like, you're both having fun, and you're also like...
Right, you're right. It's a very reactionary way to think about it. I think that's a good point.
We're good, you know?
Yeah. But I think you're right. She's
got to confront this. Yes. It's just, how do you confront it?
Well, what's a way to confront it so that he is sort of forced to say how he's feeling at the moment?
I like you. Lately, I've been turned off that I don't see you as much. Shut the fuck up.
You don't think he's going to be like, well, I'm my brother this, my brother that?
She didn't bring up the brother.
Okay,
let him bring a. But my brother just moved in. Okay, well, how do you envision our relationship moving forward with now your new roommate brother? Because if this is how it's going to keep going, it's not the relationship for me. Harder, easier said than done. Let me first let her know, like what I just said. She's like, I'm not going to say that. I can already see her. No, there's no way she'll say that. I'm just saying, though, at that point, the brother's not the problem.
That's the empowering way to do it.
Right.
I agree.
And I just think the brother's an excuse for her. It's an excuse for him. hey, it feels like, we are 4 months in. Like I would say we're 4 months in after this friendship that we had. I can understand that. Are you fearful of what this is?
Right. That's a good way to go.
Right.
I think that's a great way.
The brother, okay. Well,
it's giving him space to say that he's scared they move too fast or scared of the momentum that it's moving at. And he's worried that you guys are going to break up and you're going to hate him or something like that.
Right. Like sometimes we do this on this show where it's like, let's give some options on the spectrum of options. Right. If I were her, you could even present this. Like, to me, there's 3 options. 1, you don't like me anymore. You're tired of being in a relationship. 2, you didn't even notice. You and your brother are too busy playing video games that you're having so much fun that it's like being in the back of your parents' basement and you guys are just boys being boys. 3, you are deathly afraid of how quickly we moved and you're trying to slow this down and you're doing that without telling me and it's making me feel bad.
Right.
I don't know what else there is on the options.
I think that's great.
If she said that to him, now choose.
So she should present him with these 3 options.
She could. I think that would maybe make it easier for dummy caveman to tell her feel. If he says, I didn't even notice, this is crazy. Well, can we figure out a way to include me with you and your brother playing, wrestling matches?
Yeah. No, I think that's a great way to go about it. Because it also leaves room for him to share a feeling of hesitancy or doubt with you.
Right.
Which you have to be willing to accept.
Right. And you go, well, then we need to work that out. Like, I don't, and I think a lot of guys just, when we get weary, hey, I don't expect us to do anything for I'm not even thinking of the next step. I'm thinking of getting to know you. That might ease his concerns of we move too quick.
Right.
I think we're I get this way where I'm like, well, then next week we have to do more and we have to be bigger and we have to be better and we have to be more serious and we have to think about moving in and we have to think about engagement and we got to
take the pressure off.
Yeah. Hey.
You never believe us when we do that anyway.
I don't believe
I'm not saying that you had to marry me.
Well, no, that's always in retrospect. I think if you get ahead of it I see this next year as us getting to know each other and having fun together.
Right.
I don't see this next year as this walk towards the cliff of life ending.
Right, where you need to make a decision.
Right. There's no decisions to be made other than what are we going to do this week?
I like that.
Fall. Want to watch football? I don't know.
Right. You do that for a year and then then
I'll have more questions.
I mean, it's not forever. That's the thing. It's not forever. Or if you do want to be with someone who's I'm all in, let's fucking go.
Right.
Maybe this isn't your person. And I think that's totally okay to want that too.
Right. It's just this brother thing is what do they call it? A canard?
What does that mean?
Is that you went to an Ivy League school?
Canard?
An unfounded rumor. No, a small wing-like projection attached to an aircraft. Well, I'm a fucking idiot. I don't know, distraction.
It sounds like it could be the right word.
Doesn't it sound right?
Yeah.
If it's a slur, I'm sorry.
Distraction sounds...
At least I didn't hold a koala.
I knew this would come back. Okay. I think we helped her.
Yeah, I think so too. Let's do an awkward encounter. J&J love the pod, especially love the awkward encounters. I think I have a good one for you. A little context first. My boyfriend and I have been staying at my parents' house this summer because he took a bad fall and is having surgery on both legs.
Both legs.
My God, what a fall this was.
Trapped him.
Can't go anywhere.
No legs.
My parents happen to have a shower that is much more accessible to him than ours at home and kindly offered for us to stay until he is recovered. This is a bad injury.
Seriously. But great for her. She's gotten him to move in.
Right.
With the parents. She's taking care of. He can't go. He physically can't go anywhere without her.
All summer long.
Killing it.
Now for the awkward part. Not sure if you've come across these before, but we use these after-sex sponges that you're supposed to twirl around up there, and it stops the cum from annoyingly dripping out of you for the next day or so every time you have unprotected sex. What?
I had never heard of this. I stopped when I was reading this outline to Google this.
Cum sponge?
It's a real thing.
Really?
I forget what it's called, but I put it in Amazon, like after sex sponge or something, and it came up.
What's it called?
I don't remember, but it was a real thing.
Vajouge?
Also impressive that they're having this much sex when he has no use of his legs.
Good for him.
Love
An
that.
athlete.
Twirl
around
Have you
there?
heard of this?
No.
Oh, well, I understand why one would use it. I've never heard or used this thing before myself.
Twirl around up there? What does it look like?
I have no idea what it looks like, but I can
picture.
understand the problem it's trying to solve. I've never heard anyone with this much of an issue with it, though. But
Is it called
like
a
sometimes
sex sponge.
Sometimes the semen does come out.
I understand. I've been with women where they've told me that like you'll just be walking along and suddenly.
I mean, what? It's gravity.
Let me see. Oh, that makes.
It looks like a tampon.
Yeah, it does look like a tampon. I like the stick at the end. The stick is a good idea. Functional.
Yeah, I mean, you learn something new every day. I wonder who the market for this is.
This chick.
If you want to sponsor the show, yeah.
These cum women.
And she needs it quite badly, as we're about to find out.
Well, we needed a fresh box. How many cum swabs are you going through? So I drove.
She's got him trapped. She's doing it as often as she wants.
Yeah, good for her. So I drove around to pharmacies in the area, but couldn't find any. Finally, I decided to just order them and pray no one would accidentally open a package with my name on it. To their credit, my family is usually pretty good with that.
Mine is not.
No, my mom. What is this? Why do you have these giant Q-tips?
Totally. My mom would open it also.
Of course, the one time I order something as awkward as this, my mother mistakenly opens the package, tapes it back together, and leaves it in my dresser. A bit awkward, but I thought to myself, okay, at least she's pretending that she didn't see it, and we can go on about our day like nothing happened. Wrong. The next day, she pulls me aside to confess she opened the package and then scolds me for using them. Saying things like, I don't think your OBGYN would recommend you using these, yada, yada, yada. How does she know?
She's putting it on the OBGYN.
Right. Did you ask your mom about it?
No. I can't imagine it's worse for you than a tampon.
What do you mean worse? It's just cloth in your vagina? Isn't that allowed?
I guess. I read something.
It's better than my grubby little fingers.
I don't know, does it even say up there? Is it like a cum tampon?
I thought that was the funniest thing I've ever said, and you guys got equally grossed out by that.
Is it like a cum tampon?
I would
Are you
think
supposed
it's like
to
a
just
cum
swirl
swab.
it? You're just supposed to swirl it.
I
like
don't
a pap
have
smear?
experience in it. I don't know. What's a pap smear?
A pap smear is when they like they take a swab of the inside of your cervix to test for like HPV and stuff.
I would assume it's similar to that.
To just swab away, like almost like a Q-tip instead of for your ears, it's for your vagina.
Vagina tip.
I guess there's a market for it.
I mean, I get it.
How big could this industry be?
Huge.
I guess so.
A lot of big loads out there. No, I listen, this is a complaint I've heard from women.
That it drips out?
That it drips out.
Yeah, I mean,
this is not something.
It happens.
This is something where if you went on Shark Tank, I would go, this is a solution to someone's problem.
This is a $4 million industry. We're going to get a huge piece of it.
How much cum is produced each year?
For that reason, I'm out.
I mostly ignore. I would love it if Barbara Corcoran was like,
well,
I have this issue.
Love what you're. And then Mark's like, I love what you're doing. Totally love you as an entrepreneur.
Right.
But unfortunately, I don't know anything about the cum swabbing.
Not something I've dealt with.
For that reason, I'm out.
Mr. Wonderful's like, can I use it on my bald head? Will it shine a head? Can we find other uses for it? This went in a weird direction. I mostly ignored it and changed the subject because I've been using them for years now. Haven't had a problem. Isn't this just such a mom thing to turn an already embarrassing situation into an opportunity to nag like that? Yeah, I'd say it's very relatable mom-wise. Geez, anyways, in a wild karmic turn of events, literally a day later, I was using one, and don't you know, the thing must have twisted around the string of my IUD because it came flying out with one quick tug of the sponge.
That sounds painful.
Yeah, isn't that hard?
I think so. I've never had an IUD, but I'm pretty sure that would like hurt, wouldn't it?
I don't like the sound of any of this.
Mother knows best.
That's right.
She knew it all along.
Mother comes best. This is one of those things that like, this should be in the political ads for women.
How so?
I don't know. Just the the more I learn about
you should be in charge of women's health.
I think I should be.
I don't know why. I don't know how. But
well, the more bemused I am, the more like I don't understand, the more I go, you deal with it. Like I don't know what person in like government could ever like talk about a woman's body if they know that there's like cum swabs.
I don't know if we're quite there yet on progressiveness, where the politicians are going to be talking about one platform. They have a one platform issue stance.
Wasn't he tampon Tim?
Yes. There's too much cum leaking out of women.
That's right. I see it all over the sidewalk. I want it gone.
All right,
let's do another email.
All right. Hello, Jays and crew. Listening to you up this morning while also pondering my current situation. So I decided to bring it to Papa JT and Aunt Jordana.
Love it.
Aunt Jordana. That is not a cool, fun nickname.
Well, I think it's pretty good.
Sell
some pancake syrup.
My nieces and nephews actually call me Aunt JoJo.
I've known this actually.
That is.
You're
going to call me
JoJo?
Aunt. I'm Aunt JoJo. Yes. Mike sometimes calls me Aunt JoJo.
In response to like an attitude that you have, or does he just call it to you randomly?
He just thinks it's fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
Yeah. My nieces, because I guess from when they were little and they couldn't say Jordana, they'd say
Aunt JoJo.
Aunt JoJo. So that's my name around these parts. If I was gonna get a nickname from the listeners, Papa JT and Aunt JoJo.
What podcast are you listening to? Papa JT and Aunt JoJo. I get Uncle Jared from Friends Kids.
Oh, that's cute.
J Train.
Do you tell them you're Uncle Jared, or do they?
I say parents... my dad was Uncle Jared. I'm Uncle J Train. No, I say whatever you want to call me.
Mr. Freed.
Mr. Freed. Wouldn't it be weird if I was just totally serious amongst the kids, the children? Mr. Freed.
It's actually Mr. Freed.
Please and thank you.
I think you should do it.
I could go serious. Yeah,
I love it. All right. While at a Renaissance fair a few weeks ago, nerd.
Oh, beat me to
Sorry, they're calling themselves a nerd, but I think you would call them that. They beat you to it.
They did beat me to it. I will say, they write in this email what I've always assumed of the Renaissance community. That is a flirty, sexual vibe going on.
And I would actually go as far to say that a Renaissance fair is so uncool that it is actually cool. Right.
It is an interest. It's a hobby. Yes. It is a thing. If you're into it, I'd rather someone be into it than into nothing.
Yes. Or into something like that everyone's into and pretending that makes them unique.
Right.
I'm kind of into the Renaissance fair.
Yeah,
thing.
No. She makes it sound pretty attractive.
Okay. So while at a Renaissance fair a few weeks ago, I had a fun and flirty interaction with a guy working as a vendor. Let me put it out there that Renfairs, I didn't know that was their nickname.
Not helping the coolness factor with Renfairs.
Renfairs are surprisingly horny and attract lots of hot, kinky people in addition to the wonderfully awkward people.
See, I think that's what it is. I think a lot of these are like, I dress up, I go to this place.
It's a little cosplay.
A little cosplay. Yeah. This is like right above the weirdness of a furry convention.
Yes. While I had never been to one before, living out my nerdy dreams was more fun than I could have imagined. It's a perfect activity to do with some single friends if you're looking to get out of your comfort zone and meet new people. All right, this is cool for you. We don't need to.
I think it's cool. I'm with her still. I think it's nice. I actually good for her. She gets to like wave her freak flag a little bit in this like kind of like undercover way. To me it rings very much theater kid.
Oh, totally.
Like the theater kids were fucking.
Oh, yeah. The band kids?
Yeah, they were all fucking kids? Like crazy. Totally. Like rabbits. So I think this is like what they go to. Like, I think this is like their world a little bit.
Totally. It's funny. Like Game of Thrones kind of made this more mainstream.
Right.
I think.
And it truly, I agree with that.
Anyway, my friend and I had immediately noticed this guy as he has a pretty bold tattoos. He definitely had a look. Tattoos aside, he's cute and has beautiful eyes. Wow.
Ooh, okay.
I was feeling myself in my sexy peasant outfit. Haha.
Love it.
So I decided to try to talk to him. To my surprise, he was very warm and friendly and pretty flirty back. I could tell his friends were also egging him on and encouraging him.
Milady.
Noble steed. I heard one
Thy peasant wants to touch my chicken thigh.
Maybe you should go to the
I'm
Renfair.
pretty good at this.
I had one person tease about asking for a number. I did not get his number, but assumed I might
Won't you touch my pheasant? I don't know. I just
There you
wanted to say
go.
that.
I did not get his number, but I assumed I might run into him at the after party when the vendors closed down shop.
The after party when vendors close down shop is like, that is a crazy turn in this email.
What, that there's a Renaissance Fair after party?
Right. Like, how does that work?
I don't know. That sounds fun. Like, I would go to that. I would definitely go to a Renaissance Fair after party.
Yeah, and it's like the hull of the Titanic when they're all doing their dances. Yes.
Unfortunately, that didn't happen, but I was able to find him on Instagram and requested to follow him. He messaged me right away, and we started chatting a bit. The interactions have been spaced out and mostly just getting to know you kind of topics. Now I'm wondering if this could go anywhere beyond following each other on Instagram until we die. He's 25, I'm 30, and we live in different states. I do have family in the state he lives in, so my going there is not totally unheard of.
Relax.
I immediately thought of your biggest pet peeve.
It's so annoying.
This is like your worst nightmare.
This is just, it's so surprising how quickly they're all the same.
I totally get it, though. And again, we've talked about this. Men are thinking, like, she'd fuck me.
Right.
And she's thinking,
family in the area. Right.
We could make this work.
There's a horse farm we could live in.
How weird would it be for me to take a detour to try to get together with him? Is there a way to suggest that without sounding completely crazy and obsessed? I just felt drawn to this person in that intangible way. My mind tells me it was just a fun interaction and should and will stay like that. But the romantic in me says, who knows what could happen? What are your thoughts? All my love, a Renaissance romantic.
Well, let me tell this fair lady that
what's going on.
She's not wrong.
Okay.
Let me start in the romantic. You're right. There's a vibe. You connected. You guys are into this, like, this niche thing, You both own a knight's costume. You both have one of those balls on the end of a chain, a mace.
And I get it. In theory, this is like, could happen.
Well, this is the thing. Like, to me, let's go into his brain. His brain is like, hot chick approached me.
He's 25 also.
Yeah, and he's 25. So, like, hot chick approached me, who's nice and seems like she's attracted to me. I do have to say, like, the reason these things kind of go as far as they do, and then you go, well, why would he make me drive an hour? And then all of a sudden, it's like, I will say, like, this is going to sound, I don't know how this is going to sound, but, like, men are kind of, like, pushed their whole lives to embarrass themselves.
Okay.
Like, with women, go talk to her.
They're encouraged to make a move.
Encouraged to make a move that makes you a man. So then when, like, all of a sudden, a ye wench lands in your lap, you're going to be as nice as possible.
Okay.
And you're going to play it out. So.
Play it out, like have kids and get married?
Maybe. I'm not saying that there's a chance. I'm saying there's a chance, but I'm saying to her, if and only if she can keep this to, like, fun and flirty, that's the only way he's thinking of it.
Mm-hmm.
He's thinking of the 6 inches in front of his face.
Well, if I had advice to her, I would say one step at a time, right?
Right.
You can sort of, like, have this romantic fantasy, knowing it's kind of a romantic fantasy, and say, like, what is the next thing, the most immediate thing that you kind of want out of this?
I'm with you, and let's play out the options.
Mm-hmm.
So play it out and see how you feel before you do it.
Right.
So let's say you say to him, hey, I'm going to be in the area. This has been fun talking to you. Would love to get a drink.
Is she going to be in the area, or would she have to fly?
She's an hour away.
Okay, that's not that bad.
She has family in the state. Hey, I'm going to visit my family. Or I'm going to this other Renaissance fair. I'm touring.
Yeah.
If it would be cool if you and some friends came. Like, let's keep it to, like there's two options. There's you and him make a plan together, or I'll be here with friends. If you and some friends are there, we should get together to get to know each other.
Right.
If you make a plan together, you have to play it out of like, if it gets physical, if it turns into like, are you going to be okay with that being the last time you ever see him?
Yeah.
If not, you two get it together can only have one option. That's just getting to know each other.
Right. No hooking up.
No hooking up. And if it's friends getting together, that's better, I think.
Right.
Hey, my friends are going to this Renaissance fair. If you and your friends want in, here's the date. Would love to like hang again. Like, I think like those are light ways to take something that's a little bit out there. Like, and then he does or he doesn't.
Yeah.
You know, like I think this idea of like my family lives nearby, and like getting a drink to me is not the play. To see,
it's to do a group hangout.
I think the group hangout or just like, I'll be here if you're there. Would love to see you. Like,
right.
Because that keeps things in check for you.
Yeah. And also I think knowing how to read those responses is also key.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
So, hey, I'm going to be here or I'm going to be in town. Do you want to meet up at the next Renaissance fair or the group or whatever? I'm not sure. No. It's a no.
Right.
Or anything besides like, yeah, definitely. I think right. More leans towards maybe I would hook up if the moment came together.
Right. I like my biggest issue with like talking about this is like giving her false hope. Like I can see what you said is perfect. Small steps.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a 95% chance that the most this guy would want out of this interaction is to hook up.
Right.
At most.
Right.
There's like a 5% chance he's open to a relationship.
Well, maybe. I'd even change that. 90% chance he's open to hook up. 5% chance I would say 90% chance he's open to hooking up at his leisure.
Sure.
5% chance that he's going to like try to make this happen.
Okay.
Another 5% chance he wants a relationship.
Yeah. So knowing those odds, again, doesn't mean it's nothing. Right. 1 in 20 is not nothing.
Right.
But just remember in the back of your head, this probably won't be the thing. Also, I think it probably won't be the thing because he didn't get her number or she didn't get his number. Mm-hmm. There was no number exchanged, and I don't think that's an insignificant part of this because I do think if he was like gung-ho about trying to make that plan or super into the plan, he would have made sure he got the number.
That brings us back to like, it fell in his lap. He's going to be nice. He's going to play this out. So I think for her, yeah, she's got to listen. I'm in the boat. I am in the boat. I know I sound like a negative person a lot, but like I am in the boat. I'm a realist, but at the same time, like I am not against trying if you can handle trying.
Right. And only you know how much you can handle.
Right. Because most of the time, no one listens to the advice. They go, well, I told him that I'll be down in his area and we will get drinks and I think we have a chance because I have family in the area and I can be down there. Yeah. And you go
validate that's where your mind goes. That's an emotional masturbation thing.
Right. Which is like understandable. That's why I like, it hurts me to be like, I know what you think.
Right.
That ain't going to happen probably. Can you have fun with one fun night with a noble steed?
Can you handle that?
Can you handle it? Yes or no?
Only you know.
Let's play some games.
Let's do it.
UUP@Betches.com. This week's Red Flag or Deal Breaker is sponsored by Angry Orchard. Ooh, what a time of year for an Angry Orchard. This is perfect.
Perfect Angry Orchard weather.
Picking the right drink for your party is like picking the right partner. It can be overwhelming. The coolers are always spilling with different options, and it can be tough to please everyone. That's why my go-to drink is Angry Orchard Hard Cider. They have a variety of offerings for any taste, and they're all crazy crisp and madly refreshing. We want to pass our listeners an ice-cold Angry Orchard this week, regardless of whether we think their write-in is a bit of a red flag or a full-on deal breaker. We want to share a cider with them and hear more. So let's jump right in. I will say, an Angry Orchard this time of year, delish and gluten-free, right?
I think so.
That's like the big draw of a cider.
Yeah. I mean, perfect fall drink. It gives you like, I love a drink that puts you into like a place and time and just goes exactly with the moment.
Totally agree. And I'm going to say slows you down a little bit.
There you go. You
can chill on an Angry Orchard. So you ready?
I'm ready.
Thank you for being the highlight of my Tuesdays and Saturdays. I love being your subscriber. I find myself in a pickle and would love to hear your thoughts. I'm in a super new relationship with a very, very attractive man, probably the hottest man I've ever slept with. We became sexually exclusive pretty early on and are about 3 months into being exclusive. Recently, we've been having conversations to define the bounds of infidelity for our relationship. One of the areas that we disagreed on was getting drinks bought for or buying drinks for people we meet at the bars. He is completely okay with men buying me drinks and wants to be able to buy drinks for women at bars too, ostensibly without the intention of making sexual advances. I left this conversation thinking maybe I should trust that this can just be an act of kindness rather than borderline cheating and flirting.
Act of kindness? Act of kindness is giving up your subway seat for a pregnant woman.
Not buying her a glass of champagne?
Buying a hot woman at a bar a drink is not. I don't know how he's spun this into an act of kindness.
What if she's pregnant?
Then buying her a drink is still not quite kind. Yeah.
Well, to me, this conversation, I was like, is this couple like the way they're like talking about sex and like the rules? It made it sound like they were like in this open, weird relationship.
Right. How did this come up? Did he bring it up? Well, to me, this is kind of like, okay, here's the catch to him being super hot.
Right.
You know how I just literally, I like forgot about the rest of this email, but now I feel like I'm validating my own opinion.
Right.
Like, there's something else going on when the guy is super hot.
Right. It's almost like he's like, I can't waste this hotness not flirting with women.
Just with you.
Right.
Yeah.
I need to be out there still. We can be exclusive sexually, but I have to see the hope in a woman's eyes that she might be able to fuck me.
I know, it's kind of what he's saying, yeah.
Recently, I met him out at a salsa club.
Ooh.
Salsa.
We got some great hobbies in these emails today.
A lot of hobs. When I got there, he told me which woman he's been dancing with, and they danced together while I was there since I had a hard time keeping up as a novice.
It's getting weirder.
It's weird. This is weird. Like, I don't know. The fact that he's got to be dancing with someone else. Hey, get out of here, you old.
What is this? Along came Polly?
It's very along came. You're right. He kicks her to the side. You're moving too slow.
He starts grabbing the ass of the woman.
Yeah. They just start dancing away.
The red flags are definitely popping up.
They're waving. At first, I wasn't threatened by this situation because he was mostly dancing with older or less attractive women. Sorry, cancel me. Fine. She's very into the looks and leveling people.
I just think she's letting him get away with more because of her preoccupation with how hot he is.
Right. But then I started to get in my head about our conversation and the bounds of infidelity. Like even the bounds of it, like the wording is just very peculiar of this email. At what point does his salsa dancing start to encroach on infidelity? If there is an ass grab, a peck on the cheek, exchanging contact information, to me, all this feels uncomfortable, but I'm trying to understand why I feel uneasy about this, and I'm being unreasonably territorial. So here is the red flag or deal breaker. My very hot boyfriend has a very sexy hobby that involves other women. What do you think? This is out of Along Came Polly.
Right? When she's dancing with the guy, and then he's like, he goes up to the guy and he's like, I'm going home with Polly. And he's like, I'm gay.
Right. And that makes it automatically okay. I don't think it's okay, no matter the sexuality of the person, to just leave your partner behind.
And have them watch you like sexually dancing with another woman.
Right. Yeah. It's all fucked up.
Right.
What do you think? Red flag or deal breaker?
I think to me, she almost seems like she's being a little gaslighted, and so she's like, I have to figure out what's wrong with me that I'm not comfortable with this. Like, how do I get more comfortable with this?
She's gaslit herself a little bit based on this email.
Kind of. I mean, I don't know what their conversations were like. If he's like, this is who I am, this is what I like to do, kind of take it or leave it. Or if he's like, I think it depends on how he's presented this. Or has he presented it like, oh, you're uncomfortable by this? Like, what are you, a prude? Or like, you're uncomfortable with a little act of kindness?
It does. I mean, the way this read to me, it's so funny the way, you read these things. Yeah. I was just like, it kind of felt like this really hot guy that like, she feels that she's like a little dowdy and not like his type. So she's like doubting everything she does because like, he's like, of course I go to salsa dancing. Of course I dance with Maria. Of course.
I buy women drinks all the time.
Yeah. What are you talking about? And then she's like, well, I guess we should talk about the rules we have here. And he's like, what rules? If a guy bought drinks for you, I don't know how it's right.
No, I could see that.
I could see the idea of like, I buy drinks for women at the salsa club all the time. What are you talking about? If a guy bought you a drink at the salsa club, I'd be cool with it. If a guy slowed down enough to go over to the pig ped section of the salsa club and brought you over a trough of wine.
Just a random act of kindness.
Helped out one of the novice horrible dancers.
Right.
Who am I to be in the way of that?
I think she needs to take out all of this noise and just be like, do I like a guy who seems like he's more interested in other women than me around me?
Right. I'm with you. It seems as though there's another way to look at this. Like I
think she's not trusting her gut. Her gut is that I don't actually like this. This doesn't feel good to me.
Right. She's not wrong for questioning a guy who is like, who's literally saying like, I'm in a new relationship. We became sexually exclusive pretty early on. Like, when you start like parsing out the exclusivity terms,
right? There's
we're
something
sexually
unhealthy.
exclusive. Now we're like drink exclusive. Now we're deciding whether we're going to be boyfriend and girlfriend. The way that when you start like really like stretching it out, like it's like you're editing a film and you're like getting into the 0.5 seconds.
Right.
That's when you go, oh, why is this happening? And I would be less trusting of this guy.
I agree. I think this is all sort of like leading you into like the open zone.
Right.
Which again, if you're fine with, that's fine. Doesn't sound like she is. And I don't think your issue is like, how do I get more comfortable with this thing that I'm uncomfortable with? It's like, how do I feel confident enough in myself that I'm not doing things that make me uncomfortable because I feel like I'm with someone who's out of my league.
Right. Right. I'm with you. This is a deal breaker to me.
Agreed.
Let's do another.
Okay. Hi, team. My boyfriend and I had so much fun at the Boise show. I'm sure you put on a great Boise show.
Thank you for coming. I loved Boise. What a town.
When were you in Boise? Oh, Boise. Sorry.
Boise.
Chappell.
Chappell Roan.
Boise. Boise. Oh, I've been saying Boise my whole life.
I have too. Only until you go there.
Only Boiseans really know that it's Boise.
That's right.
Speaking of my boyfriend, I have a dilemma. Last night, we went to his 10-year high school reunion.
Happy reunion to you.
It was really fun.
Okay, good.
I Ubered home around midnight, and he went to an after party.
Okay.
So 10-year high school reunion, he's 28, sounds like.
Get out of here, toots.
It's
the alumnus got a party.
It sounds very 10-year reunion. Yes. My 10-year reunion was also fun.
What was my 10-year reunion? Yeah, I remember people got. I don't. Was I at it? I think I was. I didn't go to the 20-year.
People are young enough that they're like getting wasted, and it hasn't been that long.
Wait, no. At the 10-year, there were people that got like kicked out of like the bar, and then at the 20-year, it was like, remember when that guy got kicked out of the bar? You know, it's like all we talked about.
Just a distant.
I didn't go to
memory.
the 20-year because I was in Florida, but I heard it was great.
If you're listening, you heard it was great.
I heard you guys had a good time.
Okay, I Ubered home around midnight, and he went to an after party. At 6 a.m., my boyfriend stumbled into the bedroom. I got the drunken rundown of who got into a fight, who jumped in the pool in their suit, etc. It sounded like a high school party. He then told me that as he was leaving, this girl grabbed him and kissed him. He kissed her back. I had him demonstrate on me. Okay. It was short. It was short, but definitely tongue involved.
Show me.
How drunk is this guy that he's agreeing to this?
I mean, he really felt bad, I guess.
I had him demonstrate on me. It was short, but definitely tongue involved. Apparently, they then got in their separate Ubers, and he came home. I'm not sure if I should be mad at her, at him, or how big of a deal of this to make. He said it came out of nowhere, but that doesn't make sense to me. Who does that without any lead-up flirting? I couldn't help but laugh when he told me it was my childhood dream. I don't know why he said that.
Not funny.
I guess I can understand that. I hooked up with my childhood crush later in life, but I was single. It's a very weird conversation.
Yeah.
We've been together for something like 5 years after a long, rocky situationship that had a whole other set of problems. Okay. Trust has been an issue in the past, but we've worked on it and our relationship is great now. Supposedly, it was just a kiss, and there are witnesses to that, but I'm confused and upset. Did he cheat on me? Yes. Red flag or deal breaker? They kissed their childhood crush.
She's kind of making this okay because it's a childhood crush. Like, he had to get it in.
Right.
And agree with that.
No, I mean, he definitely cheated on her.
Yeah.
Is it a positive sign that he told her immediately? Sure, maybe.
She's kind.
Did he tell her because he didn't think she would care that much? Like, it sounds like she doesn't care that much, sort of.
It sounds like she cares. I think she's like not sure how much she's allowed to care.
She's allowed to care a lot.
I would agree. I think. Well, what makes this all even harder is 5 years after a long, rocky relationship that had a whole other set of problems. That trust has been an issue in the past, but we've worked on it and our relationship is great now. No, it isn't.
I mean, it's clearly not.
Right. How many days since our last accident? It's at 0. Like it's
And he told her probably because there are probably 100 witnesses.
Right. Everyone saw it. You guys are in Boise. You're, it's small town USA. Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, this would also warrant a lot, like I feel like she's seemingly like thinking she should be like brushing this off because of the childhood crush thing, which is not the case at all. I think this is warranting a lot deeper conversations about what's going on with him and what's going on with this relationship and why he thought it was okay to do that. Did he care about jeopardizing the trust that you supposedly have built or haven't built, I guess?
And also like the idea that she grabbed me and kissed me, like, I don't know what happened. That's his
version. That's the version that people saw.
Right.
Maybe.
And that's the version that's told to you from your boyfriend of a very weird situationship that's now 5 years in. Like, he was in company. He was in a group setting with alcohol, and the minute he was in there around new people and you were gone, he kissed someone.
Right.
So that's the story, not childhood crush and you got to get it in before we get married. Like, she's making it sound a little bit like
rite of passage.
Right. I kissed my childhood crush. We should all get the opportunity. No, that's not how it goes.
Right. And if he's trying to excuse it with that, that's a bigger
I
issue.
actually don't believe that he just walked out and she was like, get over here and smooches him. I think that there's
more
like
context here.
Your childhood friend, sweetheart. Like, you think there was no Facebook messages, no nothing. No, I'll see you at the reunion. Just randomly, she knew that his crush needed to be
just waited for you to leave.
Right. Like, I don't know. It's all a little too convenient.
Yeah, this would warrant a lot more conversation. I mean, you could obviously just break up with him, but
that's, she's, if
I were her, this would be like, now we need to dive into why you did this thing.
Right.
The demonstration is not really the point. The demonstration of just how quick the kiss was.
He just fingered her a little bit.
Right.
Like what?
Yeah. There's a lot more that needs to happen about the state of your relationship, why he did that.
Right. Well, the hard part for her is like, oh, we've come so far. We used to be this situationship. Now we're in a relationship. This is nothing compared to what you used to have. I'm like, to me.
Was he apologetic?
Yeah,
I don't even.
Right.
Does it matter? I don't know.
Even so, like, to me, you're still in a relationship that lacks trust.
Oh, 100%.
This isn't like one little thing that hasn't happened in a while. This is one thing you found out about.
That he told you about because they're witnesses.
Right.
Yes.
So to me, it's a deal breaker, but it's also considering the history.
That's a good point.
Like, she's saying it's not that bad because the history's been good recently. But that's like, no.
As far as she knows.
The monster still lives in the house. Still got a rat issue.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough because if you start off, she says they started off in this rocky situationship thing. It's like, in order for that to actually work, like long term, really work, the person has to go kind of 180 in the opposite direction.
Right. It's got to be totally left behind.
You would know they would never, ever do anything remotely close to that. It's kind of like exactly what you said. Like, the history is a huge piece of this. If he had never done anything else, they always had the picture perfect relationship from the very beginning. So much trust has been built. There's never been anyone who erred on any side.
Some childhood crush grabbed him. I could have believed the story even more.
Yeah.
I don't believe the story.
Given the background, right? He's shady.
Shady as fuck.
Well,
let's
do another one.
We got breakups in Boise. Last one. I'm a 31-year-old woman. My mom set me up on a blind date. This probably should have been the deal breaker, but I just counted it as a red flag.
Totally agree with that sentiment.
I disagree.
Depends on your mom.
My mom's a pain in the ass. I still,
Well, it depends on your mom's taste for you, I think.
I get there and he is not on the patio. I go inside and there's literally only one person inside on this beautiful day. Him. Just slouched at a bar. He's me. Not only is he the only one sitting inside, he's sitting at the bar. I thought maybe he was just sitting there while he waited for me to arrive, but he didn't get up. So I reluctantly sat down. Now I was on a date with him and the bartenders. In the end, there wasn't a connection. We both went our separate ways. I won't be going on any more dates recommended by my mom. She's out on
my mom hates the sun.
Red flag or deal breaker. He sits inside instead of the patio on a perfect day, and he sits at the bar on your date instead of a private table. Love the pod. Thanks.
I think she's being a little annoying here.
I'm with you.
Okay.
I love the bar.
Yeah, I think if the context of this was different, if she said to him, oh, it's like so beautiful. Do you want to, where's her agency in this?
Right.
Why don't we go sit outside? It's such an amazing day. Like, why didn't she say anything?
Right. She's a little bag in the windish.
Right. She's sitting there judging people while not stating her own opinion for fear of being judged by the person.
Right. I would want to know, oh, you're an outside patio person, huh?
Yeah.
And wouldn't you want to know do you want to go sit outside? No, let's sit at the bar. I love the bar. Now you got to know him.
Now you've got a conversation starter.
Right.
Yeah.
To me, I love a mom fix up. Like there's a reason your mom thought of this person.
Maybe. Depends on your mom.
Well, I just think like if you're out on the date, she's let the mom thing get a hold of her, in my opinion.
Okay.
Oh,
she's already judging him.
She's already judged him. She says the opening sentence, I'm a 31-year-old woman. My mom set me up on a blind date. That probably shouldn't have been the deal breaker, but I just counted it as a red flag. So, I got to go out with this red flag who likes my mom. And then he's in the patio, and then he's inside.
Yeah, she's going into this with a very negative
Right.
attitude.
I've sat at the bar for dates many times. I do agree with her. An empty bar for a date, a little bit awkward. Hey, do you want to go to like another table?
Just say that.
Just like
right.
you said. Yeah.
I mean, if she had said that and he was like, outside, like that's lame. I only drink at the bar. Like,
right. Now
he's
he's not your match.
Then that's the deal breaker.
Right.
But I think the fact that she just sat at the bar and was talking to him and the bartender never said what she wanted to do, and then was just like, this loser wants to sit inside. It's like maybe there was no table there when he got there, and so he sat at the bar.
Maybe he didn't bring suntan lotion.
Yeah, maybe he has sensitive skin.
Who knows? But you didn't even care enough to ask.
Yeah.
Or be yourself.
You're the deal breaker.
Boom.
Thank
you for listening to the show.
Thank you for listening. Thanks again to Angry Orchard for sponsoring today's episode. Angry Orchard is made with real fruit, tastes amazing, and doesn't skimp on flavor. There's an Angry Orchard option for pretty much any type of hang. From semi-sweet to fruit-forward to high ABV, they've got a little something for everyone.
I like that.
And you can find Angry Orchard near you by visiting angryorchard.com/locations. Enter your city, state, or zip code. Select the product you want to find. Voila! That's ANGRYORCHARD.com/locations. Angry Orchard Cider Company, LLC. AngryOrchard.com. Please drink responsibly. Angry Orchard is a hard cider with other natural flavors.
Well, listen, we solved dating again.
So good to be back.
Great to have you back. Good to see you stateside. What else we got?
That's it. We'll be back on Sunday.
Boom!
The U Up podcast is produced by Belle Roman and Candice Maniga. Edited by Belle Roman. Social media by Candice Maniga. Guest booking by Ali Friedlander. VP of podcast is Chris Allen. And be sure to follow You Up at u.up.podcast.